This is the AM News. Let's start from my election headquarters, and it's always brought to you by Petrosol, your clean fuel in full quantity, and the Chartered Institute of Management Accountants, CIMA, the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants, AICPA, together as the Association of International Certified Professional Accountants, Chopbox Technologies, a convenience service, and Youth Bridge Foundation, bridging the gap for positive youth development. This morning, on a day when Ghana joins the rest of the world to celebrate International Youth Day, the opposition National Democratic Congress has unveiled its grand plan for young people in the country. The newly launched Youth Manifesto promises to extend a free senior high school policy to private institutions and eliminate academic fees for level 100 university students and establish a dedicated ministry for youth development, along with what the party describes as jobs, jobs, and more jobs through the 24-hour economy policy. Listen to the NDC flag bearer, John Dramani Mahama, at UPSA Auditorium talking about the creation of the Ministry of Youth Development.
In my commitment to establish a dedicated ministry for youth development, this ministry will centralize the coordination of youth initiatives in Ghana. It will facilitate job creation, it will promote entrepreneurship, it will provide scholarships and enhance youth participation in decision-making, while ensuring the effective implementation of the National Youth Authority Act. Despite various initiatives, a significant gap still exists between the skills offered by educational institutions and the demands of our job market. Only about 10% of our young people receive formal skills training, and thereby hampering their employability and their economic prospects. This current situation is detrimental to innovation and economic growth, and particularly affecting artisans and craftsmen who need access to modern tools and training. And therefore, to address these shortcomings, the next NDC government will partner with religious bodies and other non-governmental organizations to invest in diverse skills development programs to enhance the economic opportunities that are available to our young people. And so, the National Apprenticeship Program, which is NAP, and the expanded TVET centers will provide skills upscaling for youth who do not progress to the tertiary level. Political bias and nepotism have tarnished the recruitment processes within Ghana's security services and our public sector. This undermines trust in public institutions and creates disillusionment amongst our youth.
The NDC flag bearer also provided new details about his plan for a 24-hour economy policy. He says the NDC will incentivize the private sector to also work 24 hours and provide cheaper and more reliable power for companies and industries. John Mahama says it will provide jobs, jobs, and more jobs.
This is a policy that is not peculiar only to Ghana. A 24-hour economy will enable one job to be shared across 3 shifts and employ 3 persons, providing job opportunities for 3 workers instead of 1. And that is what my intelligent, eloquent younger sister, or should I say my daughter, explained as 1, 3, 3. This policy aims to drive economic growth, improve service delivery, and create jobs in both the public and private sectors, and will prioritize the needs of our young people. And for the policy to thrive, the government will have to invest in security and public safety measures, including recruiting additional personnel, enhancing street lighting to promote nighttime economic activity. Essential components of the public sector's 24-hour service, that is for the public sector, would include a 24-hour ports and harbor, 24-hour customs service, 24-hour banking service, 24-hour vehicle licensing service, and 24-hour passport services, amongst others. I also intend to incentivize the private sector to operate 24 hours, and targeted sectors in the private sector would include 24-hour agro-processing, 24-hour manufacturing, 24-hour construction, 24-hour sanitation and waste management,
We are all involved indeed, but still from my election headquarters, running mates for the new patriotic party, Dr. Matthew Opoku-Prempeh says, despite the global crisis, Ghana remains economically stable. According to him, the country remained food sufficient even when some developed countries struggled. Dr. Opoku-Prempeh believes the stability experienced is enough proof that the NPP holds the key to Ghana's quest for development. Nana Yaljima was at the NPP's Ashanti Region campaign launch and has filed this report.
The NPP running mate was the main speaker at the official launch of the Ashanti Regional Campaign Working Committees and Women's Conference. Dr. Opoku-Prempeh, drawing comparison between Ghana and other developed economies, insists even in times of fuel shortage in advanced countries, Ghana never experienced shortages. To him, the NPP administrations in the past and present have ensured economic stability.
Whenever the NPP is in power, there is peace and food security. When there was hardship all over the world, Ghana didn't experience any. When some developed countries were queuing for fuel, Ghana had fuel. We never experienced power cuts. It means the NPP belongs to God.
An opinion shared by the running mate that Akufo-Addo's government has performed greater than the country's first president, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, received public backlash. Though an apology has been rendered, Dr. Prempeh believes the present administration has been the best.
President Akufo
President Kufuor has done his part. I'm not exaggerating. I am saying this again. Nana Akufo-Addo has been our best president. Every parent wants their wards to do better than they did.
Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, Dr. Buzi Abeyebi, Dr. Hila Lema Abeyebi, Dr. Rollins Abeyebi, Dr. John Ajeku Kufuor Abeyebi, Dr. Bakuno, Dr. Atamils Ebeye Kakra, Dr. Okay.
Meanwhile, the running mate is encouraging people of Ashanti to dispute the tribal tag of NPP by voting massively for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. He emphasized the party has done enough to deserve votes from the region.
Ashanti region, eta President Kufuor. Ashanti region, eta Nanado Dankwa Kufuor Dukrache President Kufuor.
Ashanti region supported President Kufuor and Nana Akufo-Addo. The region will even do better for Dr. Mahama Bawumia. It is a country being built, not a tribe. The region accepts all tribes and religions.
For Joy News, Nana Yaljima, Kumasi.
Now, still on the New Patriotic Party, they've outlined strategies to attain 85% of votes in the Ashanti region in the 2024 presidential election. According to the party leadership, strengthening the organization structures for door-to-door campaigning is the only means of delivering the target. Ashanti Regional Chairman Bernard Inchiboseako speaking at the launch of the region's campaign says the NPP's target to win all parliamentary seats in the jurisdiction remain active. Nana Yaojima again has more.
Though the Ashanti region remains the New Patriotic Party's stronghold, its highest percentage attained in recent years is 76.2%. The NPP had targeted between 70 and 75% in the coming elections, but running mate Dr. Matthew Opoku-Prempeh at his outdooring reviewed the figure to 85%. He repeated the statement at the launch of the party's campaign in the Ashanti region.
It is easier for NPP to get 885 with Bawumia as presidential candidate than any time in the history of the party. The Mwamunim Yanum party no Omo highest votes of elections.
The highest votes of the contender is from the Ashanti region, so the region is also the World Bank of our opponents. But Bawumia is a game changer.
MPP a Ghana party no 85 no chama would be a bebaso.
Many find this unattainable, but the challenge is accepted by Chairman Bernard Enchibu-Siakon.
Our target we are going to give to 47 constituencies. We are going to make sure it comes to pass. For a few weeks ago, our running mate, he said or he pronounced our target to us. He says that we are going to have 85%. That is the target for Ashanti region. If you don't have a target, you cannot win. So our target, we are winning the election 2024 from polling station to electoral area to the constituency to everywhere. We are winning all the election in 16 regions.
According to the chairman of the NPP Manifesto Committee, Osei Mensa Bonsu, the attainment of the objective is largely dependent on the organization units of the party. To him, with a good structure, party members can develop an effective door-to-door campaign to touch base with the NPP's message. Mr. Mensa Bonsu observed polling station structure has not been effective after the previous election.
Ashanti, say, I was here 85%. It's good to aspire higher. Yes, sir. Who do I need to? A dear so. Nanso, I was here for the past 4 elections I had to honor.
If we look at our performance in the past 4 elections, our best has been 76% in the region. If we want to make our target, we must work hard.
Ignite the organization unit of the party. I don't think
For Joy News, Nana Yaojima, Kumase.
Away from our election headquarters to other stories, fisher folk at Jamestown in Accra are calling on government to construct another concrete dock bumper at the fishing harbour to protect their canoes from the storm. The fisher folk are deeply concerned about the increasing threat posed by storms, which have the potential to severely damage their canoes and affect their businesses. The following report has more.
In an interview with Joy News following the inspection of the newly constructed Jamestown Fishing Harbour by the Transport Minister, the spokesperson of the Jamestown Fisherfolk, Robert Nette, argued that the current dock bumper is insufficient to protect the growing number of canoes from the strong waves and winds.
Of the storm, turn the canoe. Once you have anchored your canoe, maybe you are asleep in the afternoon, in the night, you have gone to fishing, whereby you are tired, you have anchored your canoe in the harbour. Once you are in the harbour, means that your canoe is in safety. But due to the fastness of the storm, turn our canoes to eat the wharf, and then some of part of the harbour and some of the canoes do got spoiled. So we are pleading to the authorities and then the engineers for them to go to Osekai, where there's a rock there. They should lay another breakwater over there so that whenever there's a storm, our canoes will be safety in the harbor. We plead to them once again.
Meanwhile, Transport Minister Kweku Ofori-Esiama expressed satisfaction with the work done at the Jamestown Fishing Harbour. He is confident the facility will create jobs for fisher folk in the area.
We've also seen one or two things that we think that we can also suggest, which we have suggested to them. And we think that by the time we come for the commission, our comment will be factored into finally before we commission. But I think that all in all, they've done a good job. We have a day nursery, we have a police station, fire station, this administration block. We saw the stores, ice making machine, fish marketing center, and ship repair center, which is very, very important.
Edward Boateng, Ghana's ambassador to China at the commencement of the project, called for a public-private partnership to help maintain the facility.
How do we bring private sector people in so that, the fish that is brought in the morning, you could come here in the evening and have a nice fish meal with your family, that you can sit on the boat, go for a 2 or 3 hour boat ride and come back. It's relaxing. And I think these are the things that we are also looking at. So I would say that we are capable of raising the money to do these things ourselves. This is a big project.
The project includes dredging of about 100,000 cubic meters of harbour basin, construction of more than 1,000 meters hydraulic structures, the construction of office buildings, cold storage and processing areas.
The Bank of Ghana has revealed that it has capped its allocations for the Gold for Oil program in full compliance with the recommendations of the International Monetary Fund. The Bank of Ghana was cited by the Auditor General in its 2023 report for undertaking the policy without any formal agreement with the Precious Mineral Marketing Company. Appearing before the Public Accounts Committee, First Deputy Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Maxwell Opoku-Afare, told the committee Bank of Ghana has, among other measures, decided to cap financing for the policy. James Aveji has more in the following report.
The Bank of Ghana in 2022 entered into an arrangement with the Precious Minerals Marketing Company to use part of its resources from the domestic gold purchase program to provide foreign currency for the importation of petroleum products. The move, according to the BOG, was to ensure availability of fuel, reduce fuel prices at the pumps, and most importantly, ease pressure on the cedi. 2 years on, the Auditor General flagged the arrangement in its 2023 report, citing no available agreement. First Deputy Governor of BOG, Dr. Maxwell Opoku-Afare, explains to the Public Accounts Committee why.
We use the gold purchasing program to be able to purchase more gold for oil, and had an MOU with PMMC to be able to do that. Now, as that happened in the time of the crisis, then we started the process of having formal agreements, which we started discussing with PMMC and all the others involved. That is what the auditors picked up, to say that the MOU was not sufficient and it has to be moved to a formal gold purchase program, because this is a deviation from the gold purchase program for reserves. But Mr. Chairman, I want to also emphasize that the central bank has been mandated to ensure price stability and financial stability. And the central bank has to take every decision that it has to take possible to ensure that we don't have disorderly collapse in the financial sector. And that's precisely what the central bank did.
But chairman of the committee, James Kluche Aveji, disagreed.
So my question was that at the time you were doing the goal for oil, didn't you know that you should have a full agreement with the PPMC or IPMC? What is the name?
PMMC. Yeah.
PMMC.
What I'm saying, that I think the act you read is talking about mitigating risk.
Yeah, of course. Of course, definitely there will be risk associated with the goal for oil program.
And we were doing the same thing within the same risk framework that manages our reserves and manages the entire gold purchase program.
The BOG assured that steps to sign an official agreement with PMMC will be concluded by end of month. The bank also revealed that it has capped financing to the Good for Oil deal.
This is part of our risk management program to ensure that the bank is not overexposed to this special project. And this was also agreed as part of the IMF program. So it's being monitored consistently to ensure that not a single cedi is added to the amount that was capped. And so that's between us and the IMF. We both agree that BOG should not continue to be overexposed to in terms of the gold for oil project. Yeah.
Also appearing before the committee was the National Lottery Authority. Director General Samir Uku told PAC that the authority is losing the fight against illegal operators in the market because of political interference.
We've allowed a system where everybody knows somebody in the country. You touch this one, they'll go and call this big man who belongs to this side of the political divide, that side of the political divide. And that has, for me, that has been the challenge of the NLA stamping its authority in the fight against the illegal. But now we are resolute. We are firm in our conviction. We are losing almost over 1 billion cedis annually to these illegal operators.
When ECG appeared, MP for Ketu South, Jifa Ablagomashi, raised concerns about widespread allegations of overbilling by customers. This was MD Samuel Dubik Mahama's response.
What we are realizing now is what most people don't know is that meters do expire. Meters don't have a long lifespan. They do expire. And it's something that is not the fault of the customer. So it's something that we now have to go out there and educate everybody very well. Reflect. And let's also not forget that the PURC has increased tariffs over the period to a total of almost 75%. So it's a conversation that has to be looked at in this holistic form.
Public universities are billed to take their turn at the committee on Tuesday. James Aveji, Parliament House, Accra.
For our first story in the business updates, the Bank of Ghana has attributed its rising losses in 2022 to the impact of the domestic debt exchange program, which led to over a 50% haircut on government instruments held by the central bank. Now, speaking before the Public Accounts Committee of Parliament, the first Deputy Governor, Dr. Maxwell Opoku-Afare, disclosed that the central bank incurred a cumulative loss of approximately 54.5 billion Ghana cedis, significantly affecting its financial outlook.
From 2022, the biggest portion of the loss is not really coming from our operations. It's coming from as a result of the 50% haircut that the central bank took on behalf of stock of government debt. And here I'm putting emphasis on stock, meaning with this accumulation of government instruments that the central bank has been holding for years back. And as part of the DDEP, the Bank of Ghana had to take a 50% haircut. At the time of the DDEP in 2022, total government instrument stock that was being held by the central bank was 64.5 billion Ghana cedis. Out of this, we took a haircut of 50%, and that meant that we took a hit of 32.2 billion Ghana cedis. And then when the also was fair valued, which is part of the IFRS 9, the fair valuation meant that there must be an impairment or a fair valuation loss of 12.1 billion Ghana cedis, which is not coming from our operations, but coming from the debt exchange program that was introduced.
The total amount of mobile money accounts with telcos that has been kept with the commercial banks has reached 115 billion Ghana cedis ending June this year, 2024. And that's according to the latest financial technology report released by the Bank of Ghana. George Wiafe has the details.
This is actually different from the total value of mobile money transactions, which hit 1.2 trillion cedis ending June this year. However, it is that money on the wallet on your phone which the mobile money operators have kept with the commercial banks based on the Bank of Ghana requirement. Again, when you do a month-on-month comparison, the money saved with the commercial banks have gone up significantly. A development that could be helping bring in more money outside the banking system. If you do a breakdown of the mobile money numbers, all the transaction types on this platform have seen some strong growth over the past 6 months. For instance, out of the 1.2 trillion cedis funds that were moved on the platform for the first 6 months of this year, 44% of that had to do with transfers from one wallet to the other, or call it the person-to-person transfers. The Bank of Ghana puts the registered number of mobile money accounts ending June this year at 69.3 million.
So, folks, that does it for the business update, ending the AM News Bulletin. And stay with us because News Review comes up next. And Kojo Poku, Energy Analyst, and Dr. Wisdom Dogbe, Financial Analyst, join us to review the various stories captured in the newspapers. We'll be right back. Don't change your dial.